get right to it. Action. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. Ryan680.
I'm Angela Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. You know what to do, guys. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to us on our Alamo City Movie Talk page. And thank you for making us a part of your day. But let's get right to it. Angela, what are we talking about today? What's today's film?
We are back with another horror film. It is Clown in a Cornfield. So a fading Midwestern town in which Friendo the Clown, a symbol of bygone success, reemerges as a terrifying scourge. So Ryan, kick us off. I know I'm not the biggest fan of clowns or anything with a cornfield to be that of the matter, but kick us off. What do you think? What were your first thoughts coming out of watching this film?
My first thoughts is that this movie really kind of does like a throwback to slasher films genres, movies like Thanksgiving, movies like X, movies like Pearl even, and movies like this are such influential that they really are. I mean, the film really starts in 1991, and it kind of has like a time lapse, if you will, and it goes to our current time today, and it kind of makes sense because the whole concept of it's an old school slasher film, and I love that. I miss movies like that because I feel like that filmmakers and filming the way cinema is right now, it needs more of the movies like this. Now, I gotta admit, I expected it from the first 30 minutes of this movie. It doesn't look as bright. The movie doesn't look as good of a slasher film as it should be. But then after you get those first 30 minutes, it gets better and better. And once you let it marinate and everything, I feel like it gets a little bit better. But yeah, I really enjoyed this modern teen film, mixing it in with classic slasher knife cutting, however you want to say it. But yeah, what did you think of this?
Really the premise of this movie. It's, basically the old town traditions, the older generation versus the newer modern generation, the younger generation. And that's really the premise of this film. And you really see that a lot. Like you have this group of kids that are... Basically, they turned their town mascot, Friendo the Clown, into a YouTube serial killer, like all fake, all faked. But then he actually turns out to be a real serial killer. So I think that was pretty funny, especially because I feel like this generation's a lot about social media now. Yeah, it's for sure. So I think it kind of hits where it's pretty realistic, pretty modern. But I do agree. I like the slasher bits. I think those scenes were done really well. Yeah. Still very predictable, but I had a good time watching it.
Yeah, I would say the kills, they're brutal, but they're a little bit creative, and then surprisingly self-aware, if you will, like almost to where like they know they're being murdered or they know they're being massacred. So I really like that because you got to see their facial reaction to being dead and everything, and even more so, we saw more of we saw chainsaws, we saw a lot of the, a lot of the, almost felt like because it got pitchforks, it got everything in here. So I was just like, man, classic. It's just true classic. It feels very, very much rural, small town, obviously, and it just everyone connects to each other, and it's a tradition in this small town. So I really enjoyed that a lot. I enjoyed the characters were not too bad. I would say they give us enough to where kind of care about them a little bit, but you're more thrown into the small town. What is the concept of this clown? How does it make sense? And I appreciate that a lot because I wish it was a little bit broader scope, if you will, but it is what it is. It's just it was mainly it was filmed and made more of the small town feel, but at the same time though, I kind of feel like they missed a little marker there.
Sure, it wasn't perfect by any means, but it kept me entertained, for such a short story, straight to the point, serial killer clown. It did its job, and I would say again, the scenes that were the gore scenes were done pretty well. So overall, I would say I was walked away pretty pleased watching this.
This film, Katie Douglas plays she's one of the leads here as well, and I gotta admit, She really, I would say she shines. She shines a lot in this movie, and she's entertaining, and especially being chased by a clown, and even more so her classmates too as well. It was very believable. It gave me Thanksgiving vibes, and Thanksgiving was such a great movie that came out, and I was pleasantly surprised, with this one. With that being said and everything, but yeah, I would definitely go check this out in a movie theater if you can. It's gonna be showing at the Alamo Drafthouse later this week, and I do recommend seeing this in a movie theater, not at home. I do recommend seeing this in a movie theater. It will be at Shudder, I think, later on this month or a couple weeks. So Shudder did buy this out. Also, just a fun fact here, this actually did premiere at South by Southwest, had great positive reactions. So knowing that it has really positive reviews along with this one, of course, but anyways, any other final thoughts, Angela?
Big special shout out. I liked seeing the familiar face of Kevin Durand. I know we've seen him in so many movies. I think most recently that I remember him from was Abigail, and then the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. He was in there too.
That's right.
So I will say again, I agree with you. Definitely give it a chance. Even if you don't like clowns like myself. But I do think it would be a better experience to experience it in a theater. I do agree with that.
Definitely. I feel like that more audiences would cater to this more, and I feel like that this is definitely going to hit that horror demographic, that horror Terrifier audience. It's really going to hit there. It's not as brutal as Terrifier, but it definitely hits the mark on certain horror slasher films like this one. But yeah, rating 1 out of 10. 10 being the highest, Angela. What do you give this rating?
You could also argue Terrifier is a little overboard. But
that's the point.
That's the point.
Very brutal. Very brutal.
For this one, like I said, it was entertaining. It was done pretty well. Straight, simple story, straight to the point. Was my favorite, but I'll give it a solid 6.5 because again, it was a pretty solid film for me. I liked the cast. I liked the scenes that were done. So yeah, pretty solid film.
I'm gonna agree to. I'm gonna say a solid 7. I'm gonna give it a solid 7 because there's a few scenes in here that I really did enjoy, and you really kind of, I was pleasantly surprised the way the boyfriend portrayed where what's her name, Katie Douglas's character. She was with a guy, and that was a very surprising interaction there. And I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys, but it is definitely surprising, and I was definitely like, wow, what the heck. And hey, to each his own and everything. And at the same time, though, I was just like, wow, okay. I didn't see that coming. So that was probably the only part that I would say that was unpredictable until we see their interaction more intimate. So I was just like, wow, okay, cool. It just threw me for a loop. It really did. That was really the only good thing is that when I guess something and I'm totally wrong, I love that even more. I don't know why, but then when I call it out, it's like, oh, great, it's predictable. But hey, I mean, that's the whole concept of a story. That's the whole concept of the character development here, and you got to see more so with certain really with just Katie Douglas. I would say the character development was kind of mediocre. It wasn't as grand or great or anything like that. But I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that because the story wasn't about the teenagers. The story was about the clown.
Yeah,
and even though we don't get too much of a backstory, and you'll see why, I won't spoil it, but I do think it was just a short film. You don't need to go into all these characters' backstories and all this is happening now. And
of course, it was a 2020 novel, a really hit novel that came out.
And I kind of want to read it. I really do. I kind of want to see how it holds up. Obviously, most people prefer the novel to the movie, film adaptations, and I will say I agree too. But I am definitely interested in reading the novel after seeing this. I definitely want to see what's in the novel.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for making us part of your day. You know what to do, guys. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. And call Ryan 680.
I'm Angela, that Kelly Ange.
Have a good one, guys. See you at the movies. Catch you later.